In the heart of Sunny Meadow, nestled among whispering willows and fields of clover, lived a little bunny named Pip. Pip was the shyest bunny in all the meadow, while his brothers and sisters would hop and play, chasing butterflies and tumbling in the tall grass. Pip would watch from the safety of his burrow, his little nose twitching nervously. The world outside seemed so big, so loud, and so full of unknowns. He loved the smell of fresh carrots and the sight of dandelions, but the thought of venturing out alone made his fluffy tail tremble. One sunny morning, the elder bunny of the meadow, a wise old rabbit named Barnaby, announced the annual Great Meadow Gathering. It was a day of celebration, with games, storytelling, and a grand feast of the sweetest clovers and juiciest berries. Every bunny was expected to bring something to share. Pip's heart sank. The idea of being in a crowd, of everyone looking at him, was his biggest fear. He just wanted to stay hidden, safe in the quiet of his home. His mother, seeing his worried expression, nuzzled him gently. She told him, "Pip, my dear, bravery isn't about not being scared. It's about being scared and doing it anyway. Besides, that little heart of yours is a courage you haven't discovered yet." Pip wasn't so sure. He watched his siblings excitedly planning what they would bring. One was weaving a flower crown, another was practicing a hopping dance. Pip just felt small and invisible. That night, Pip couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned, the elder bunny's announcement echoing in his ears. He crept to the entrance of the burrow and peeked outside. The meadow was bathed in soft moonlight, and the stars twinkled like a carpet of tiny diamonds. It was beautiful, not scary at all. Saw a little firefly blink its light near a patch of moon petal flowers. These flowers were rare and only bloomed at night, their petals glowing with a soft, silvery light. Pip had heard stories about them, but had never been brave enough to see them for himself. An idea sparked in his mind, a tiny flicker of courage. What if he could bring a moon petal flower to the gathering? It would be a unique and beautiful gift. But that would mean going out into the night, all by himself. His paws felt cold with fear, but the image of the glowing flower was stronger. 2. He took a deep breath, his little chest puffing out, and took one tiny hop out of the burrow. Then another and another. The night was alive with sounds he'd never noticed from his burrow. The gentle chirping of crickets, the soft hoot of a distant owl, the rustle of leaves in the breeze. At first, every shadow made him jump. A swaying branch looked like a giant claw, and a rustling bush sounded like a lurking predator. He wanted to turn back, to run to the safety of his home. But then he remembered his mother's words. Bravery is being scared and doing it anyway. He focused on his goal. The moon petal flowers. He followed the gentle glow of the fireflies, who seemed to be leading the way. They danced around him, their lights like friendly little lanterns guiding him through the darkness. As he hopped deeper into the meadow, he passed other creatures of the night. A friendly badger nodded at him, and a family of mice scurried past with a cheerful squeak. The world wasn't as frightening as he had imagined. It was just ... different. Finally, he reached a small, secluded clearing. And there they were, a patch of moon petal flowers, glowing with a light so pure and magical it took his breath away. They were more beautiful than any story had described. Pip carefully picked the most perfect one, its stem cool and smooth in his paws. Holding the flower, he felt a warmth spread through him. It wasn't just the flower's glow. It was a glow from within. He had done it. He had faced his fear and found something wonderful. The journey back was different. The night sounds were now a gentle symphony. The shadows were just shadows. He wasn't the same bunny who had left the burrow. He held his head a little higher, his steps more confident. The glowing flower lit his path, a beacon of his newfound courage. The next day at the Great Meadow Gathering, bunnies were presenting their gifts. There were colorful flower arrangements, impressive acrobatic feats, and delicious berry pies. Then, it was Pip's turn. He walked towards the center of the crowd, his heart pounding, but this time it was with excitement, not fear. He held up the moon petal flower. A hush fell over the crowd. The flower, even in the daylight, held a faint, ethereal glow. The other bunnies gasped in awe. They had all heard of the moon petals, but few had ever seen one. Elder Barnaby hopped forward, his eyes wide with admiration. "Pip," he said, his voice full of respect. "This is a remarkable gift. It takes great courage to venture into the night to find such a treasure." Pip felt his cheeks grow warm, but for the first time, he didn't try to hide. He stood tall and said in a clear voice, "I was scared, but I wanted to bring something special." A smile spread across his face, a real, genuine smile that reached his eyes. The other bunnies cheered for him, not just for the beautiful flower, but for the bravery he had shown. From that day on, Pip was different. He still felt shy sometimes, but he knew he had a well of courage inside him. He started playing with his brothers and sisters in the open fields, his laughter ringing through the meadow. He made new friends, sharing stories of his nighttime adventure. He discovered that the world was full of amazing things, and the best ones were often just outside your comfort zone. Pip, the once shy bunny, became known as Pip the Brave, not because he was fearless, but because he learned that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And every time he looked at a moon petal flower, he remembered the night he found his own inner light. He learned that even the smallest bunny can have the biggest heart, and that our greatest adventures begin the moment we decide to take that first brave hop. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed Pip's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you next time. These are in the heart of Whispering Woods, where sunlight dappled through the leaves like scattered gold coins, lived a tiny bunny named Pip. Now, Pip was a very sweet bunny, with fur as soft as dandelion fluff and ears that drooped just a little at the tips. But Pip was also incredibly shy. While other bunnies bounced and bounded through the meadows, playing games of tag among the buttercups, Pip preferred the quiet comfort of his cozy burrow. The outside seemed so big and so loud. The hoot of an owl, the rustle of a fox in the underbrush, even the boisterous laughter of the other bunnies would send his little heart thumping like a drum. He would watch from the safety of his doorway, his nose twitching, wishing he could join the fun, but his paws felt rooted to the spot. Maybe tomorrow, he would whisper to himself, but tomorrow always felt just as scary as today. One sunny afternoon, Pip was nibbling on a tender clover leaf near his burrow when he heard a tiny, faint cry. It was so soft, he almost missed it. He froze, his ears perked up, listening intently. There it was again. A little whimper carried on the breeze. Curiosity, for the first time, began to outweigh his fear. He took a hesitant hop, then another, following the sound. It led him to the edge of the Sunbeam Stream, a place he rarely dared to venture. There, tangled in some stray vines near the water's edge, was a tiny baby bird that had fallen from its nest. It was chirping pitifully, its little wings fluttering in a panic. Pip's heart ached for the little creature. He looked around. There were no other animals in sight. The baby bird looked up at him with wide, frightened eyes. Pip knew he had to do something. His first instinct was to run back to his burrow and hide. The stream was noisy, the world felt too open, and what if a predator came by? But then he looked at the terrified baby bird again, and a new feeling swelled in his chest, a feeling of protectiveness. He couldn't just leave it there, taking a deep, shaky breath. Pip hopped closer. "Don't be scared," he squeaked, his voice barely a whisper. "I'm here to help." The baby bird quieted a little, watching him. Pip carefully examined the vines. They were tangled tightly around the bird's leg. He gently began to nibble at the thinnest vine with his sharp bunny teeth. It was tough work. Every snap of a twig made him jump, and every shadow seemed to hold a lurking danger. He kept telling himself, "Be brave, Pip. Be brave for the little bird, too." He nibbled and tugged, nibbled and tugged. Slowly, one by one, the vines began to loosen. Finally, with one last, determined bite, the baby bird's leg was free. The little bird hopped away from the vines, chirping thankfully. But the problem wasn't over. The nest was high up in a tall oak tree. How could a tiny bunny get a baby bird all the way up there? Pip looked up, his heart sinking. The trees seemed to touch the sky. Just then, a wise old squirrel named Squeaky scampered down the trunk. He had seen the whole thing from a high branch. "That was a very brave thing you did, little one," Squeaky chattered, his tail twitching. Pip blushed, his shyness returning. "But the nest is too high," he mumbled. Squeaky smiled. "Bravery isn't about not being scared, Pip. It's about doing what's right, even when you are scared. And sometimes, it's also about knowing when to ask for help." With that, Squeaky carefully scooped up the baby bird and zipped up the tree trunk in a flash. He gently placed the bird back in its nest, where its mother was waiting anxiously. The mother bird chirped a beautiful song of thanks that echoed through the woods as Pip hopped back towards his burrow. The world didn't seem quite so loud or scary anymore. He had faced his fear to help someone in need. The other bunnies, who had seen him from the meadow, hopped over to meet him. "Pip, that was amazing," said a bunny named Lily. "You were so brave." "Another bunny," Leo added. "We saw what you did for the baby bird. You're a hero." Pip's ears perked up, no longer drooping. He felt a warm glow spread through him. He wasn't just Pip the shy bunny anymore. He was Pip, the brave bunny. He had found a courage inside himself that he never knew existed. From that day on, things were different. Pip still felt a little flutter of shyness now and then, but it didn't stop him. He remembered the baby bird and the feeling of helping someone else. He started joining the other bunnies in their games. He discovered he was surprisingly good at hide and seek, and he loved the feeling of the wind in his fur as he raced through the fields. He learned that bravery wasn't a loud roar. It was a quiet whisper inside that said, "You can do this." And sometimes, that whisper was all you needed to take the first hop into a bigger, brighter world. Pip, the once shy bunny, had found his courage, not by getting rid of his fear, but by learning to be bigger than it. And in doing so, he discovered a whole new world of friendship and adventure waiting just outside his burrow. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed Pip's story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more adventures. See you next time.